What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, the Dark Edition. Anyway, so I just wanted to do this quick video, highlight how it really doesn't matter if you date black women, don't date black women, date only black women, only sleep with black women, marry with black women. You're still gonna put in of a know your place, you just a nigga category. So what this is really is just an update on the Kobe situation. I know people have corrected me in the chat, and you were right to do so. It has been 3 weeks since the Kobe situation, and that makes sense as to the things that has happened. And so now, if you were to go to Google, and if you were to type in Gayle King and then put on the news link, or you would type in Snoop Dogg and put on the news link, you'll get a very interesting search engine listing for the news. What you're gonna get is Snoop Dogg hates black women. Snoop Dogg doesn't like black women. You got Rose McGowan, which is the white bitch that was the youngest chick on Charm, that was on the WB or the CW way back when. Back when back they have a rebooted version now, but back when Smallville was on there. The Arrowverse and all that bullshit. But she wanted Snoop Dogg, grow the fuck up. Death hurts. Kobe could stop hurting women. So can you. And what you have is, these are what I call political lightning rods. These are gynocentric talking points. These are talking points to establish that the way that they try to enforce the pecking order is they try to establish you as a hater of women that wants to destroy women, kill women, harm women, just grind women up. And what makes it particularly insidious for white females, and by the way, check out BTS Igmore's video on this topic, because he talks about both sides of womanhood, both sides of the myth of white womanhood. The black female side to want to covet the myth of white womanhood, and the white female side to want to protect the myth of white womanhood or protect white flesh. So you have to understand the different angles of this. And one thing that most of these white women will not do, let's be clear here, they don't give a fuck about rape. They don't even give a fuck about other white women being raped. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Most of these women that talk this shit, Rose McGowan in particular, has either been in situations where she's been an actual abuser, and that's come out. Mika Brzezinski on MSNBC Morning Joe, and I'm going to get to Joe Scarborough in a second. They have actively played their part in protecting people. And I'm not talking about indirectly like R. Kelly. I'm talking about they have actively played their part in protecting white men when it comes to sexual allegations. Mika Brzezinski with Mark Halpern, and there's others as well. They all have they don't care, even when it's other white women. It is a lightning rod for them to use to leverage power, because it's just like when you cry rape, it shuts down the conversation, right? And so that's the vector you have to remember about with all these people talking about this shit. Why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because I've talked to people on the ground about this, and when you're call it like coffee talk, water cooler talk, and I'm gonna tell you, even amongst black men, first of all, a lot of sisters are falling in that all I see is a black woman being attacked, and I don't like that. It doesn't matter what she did. They just don't like that. And that's where they're falling. And a lot of them are not just falling on that. They're trying to vehemently defend that. Saying, well, all she asked was a question. All she did was that. She's a journalist. And what you have to understand, that if you don't understand a lot of the shit that we talk about in the manosphere, or quite frankly, even if you're pro-black, you hear this stuff, so you have the track record. This is why I give you resources like Your World and other folks, is to show that there's a track record. It's not just niggas just getting mad because of the situation. These people have a track record of doing this and understand why they're doing it. Then you have a lot of people that's on the ground that that they're gonna just, but you gotta remember, they're thinking in their own orbit. They're not thinking they're really not really mapping this shit out like we map it out. They're thinking in their own orbit in relationship to their own feelings. So they half the time they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't understand the context. They just know what's been happening now. That's it. So it's very easy to manipulate. This is why when BTS and others call people sheep, this is why. Because they don't really have context to what the fuck they're talking about. So they don't even know why you're mad. Or they will say, well, I'm just going to go with the black person. Even though the black person attacked, technically tried to put another black female in a bad situation. And Lisa Leslie did her job by being a lady and staying on code. And basically Snoop did his job by calling her the fuck out. Now all of a sudden they want to make the situation look like Snoop is trying to attack her, is threatening. This bullshit. Going back to the white women though. The white women, basically, they use different language for white men. When Les Nunez, the CEO of CBS, a former CEO of CBS, who was outed because of sexual assault, that is the boss of Gayle King, you ain't never heard Gayle King come out of her mouth to speak on. It is the own lawyers for CBS said, you got to give this dude a gold parachute to get him out now, because he even admitted he did that shit. And for the better of the corporation, you got to remove him. So whatever you need to do to let him go or get him to leave, he's got to go. You ain't heard her say shit about that. This is what I would tell you all to tell any black female or black male that want to play this game. Show me where Gayle has talked about sexual assault with white men. Show it to me. Show it to me. Any other time, show it to me. Same thing with Oprah. Any other time, show me that shit. Because all I see is black women being used as a shield for white supremacy to basically do what it does. So now you just put a black woman in it as a kamikaze body, and then you say, oh, you're not attacking white supremacy, you're attacking black women. And let's be clear here, just to revisit the 50 Cent situation, 50 Cent has something to say about Gayle, but 50 Cent has been seen hugged up with Gayle too. So like all receipts are going to be called. This is not something where you sit here, like it's time to really start to go through a lot of these motherfuckers and go through their history. For real. It's time. The internet's been around long enough that you have a track record of all this shit that these motherfuckers have said and not said. Black men, black women, white people that want to bring some shit up. And at the end of the day, if they can go for Kobe, they can go for anybody for anything. And the point is, it's not an equal opportunity thing. They're not bringing up Kevin Spacey. The memes of it's like literally a 5 by 8 of 40 different white dudes that they have completely not mentioned. Gayle, if she's ever brought it up, the only thing you'll find is her saying, well, there's two sides to every story. And the only thing you'll find is her saying, well, there's two sides to every story. And doesn't people deserve redemption? That was her talking about somebody else that I think it was Matt Lauer, that got ousted from her own network. Or it wasn't CBS, I forget, it was one of them motherfuckers. Gayle King is there in order to be the black face. And just because people are not in it like we are, what we know, that's when you really realize these people that you know don't really follow this shit like that. They don't understand the receipts and all of that. They just know what's in front of their face. So you got them saying basic shit. Oh, well, what she did wasn't that bad. Now, here's the thing. Let that be a black woman, a black man doing it to a black woman. They wouldn't want to hear none of it. They will be having none of that. Doesn't matter if she's with a black woman or not. So this is what I'm talking about. When I say that the gynocracy is an occupying force in the black community, no different than Nazi Germany occupied France and had an occupied French government to leverage what Nazi Germany wanted into the French. That is what you have here. That is what you have here. That is what black culture is. And the thing about it is you're pro-blacks, and it's not just pro-blacks, black men will not deal with that. They will not face the fact that if you are going to white folks, you have to first deal with that problem. Otherwise, you will always, it's like a house of cards, you will always cut up the foundation because the foundation is built on some fraudulent bullshit anyway. But black men, and especially black women, refuse to acknowledge that. And that is why, shit will never change. Because they cannot accept that fact. And shout out to Mr. Fantastic when he did that hangout. Because I'm going to fucking break down. I may start with doing a stream breaking down my segment on there. But I'm going to break down, what they said. And you have to. Like, people, see, dudes need to get the fuck out of their feelings. Oh, well, you letting them take over. Nigga, shut the fuck up. No, we're not. But you have to let them talk. It can't be the prosecution. It's just going to be the prosecution, and you can't let the defense defend itself. You can't do that because it makes the prosecution look less credible. You have to let them be on the stand and let them say what they want. And that is just as effective as us saying what we're saying. It's actually more so. Because then you don't got niggas sitting here trying to play the 50-50 bullshit. Oh, well, is this, is that, trying to speak for them. No, let them speak for themselves. And let them say it. And now they have to defend what they said. The 50-50 Negroes, they got to defend what they said. Not know they add in what they said and try to translate it. We waste like real fucking talk. I don't know, but she was mentioning somebody. It could have been cross network, but the point is, they're not even like shy about it now. I could go all the way back to David Bowie. If it's a white man, he is not to be called a rapist. It's just like how unofficially you can't call white men terrorists. Terrorist is a veiled term to be leveraged at minorities, particularly of Middle Eastern descent. But it can be thrown at black men too. But white men, under any circumstance, are never to be called terrorists. Even though white men are the only ones you really got to worry about shooting shit. And that's how they wanted to be with rape. And my thing is, guess what? This is why white women are complicit in that. They are absolutely complicit because nobody calls that shit out. Nobody calls that shit out. And so you don't get to tell, just like I tell black women about R. Kelly. Because one bitch tried to actually say, oh, well, so you're going to cry when R. Kelly dies? Bitch, the only black people who are protecting R. Kelly were black women. And it kills me because it's like, how the fuck can you say that? You really want to act like black men were caping for R. Kelly? Is that really what you want to say? But this is the cognitive dissonance that we get. Because these people don't really know what the fuck is going on. Because they're not talking about it. They have no fucking clue. And they will actually tell you that with a straight face. This is why you got females and dudes defending Queen and Slim. Oh, well, the black, and it's funny because what they say, oh, wow, really? Are you serious? Because what they say is they put because you gotta remember, this is why right now they're talking about, well, what this is proving is black women still need to be protected. This is how they actually administer the pecking order. They create these false narratives. And I'm not saying black women are not protected. What I'm saying is they create these narratives that they can use when it's useful to them. White people don't give a good goddamn about the protection of black women until it's time to shut down a conversation and shut black men down. Now they're going to make Snoop Dogg has been married to a black woman. Snoop Dogg has been married to a black woman for 23 years. How in the living fuck are you all of a sudden gonna say that a man that's been married to hates black women? But this is what they say. And you have motherfuckers that actually believe it. Oh, well, Snoop Dogg was out of pocket. No, that bitch was out of pocket. And when people sit there and they talk about black men do nothing but complain, this is why you have to hear it. Because guess what? If black men haven't said nothing, then you're gonna just believe that dumb bullshit. Because why? That's the only thing that's in the atmosphere. Because I'm going to tell you something. Black women have been complaining for decades, and they don't stop. When you brought them up there on Mr. Fantastic string, not only did they have this like psycho babble that pretty much came out, but also Elise. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe you all are finally talking about the real shit. Because the real shit is the shit they care about. That's what she really meant. Oh my God, I'm just on here to get the vibe of the room. I mean, it was about to turn into a bitch fest. It's the same shit you hear if you listen to the females over there on female YouTube. Oh, I just want to get the vibe of the room. Like, it just becomes an emotional psycho, and it is psycho. It is fucking psychotic. So, oh, I just want to get the vibe of the room. Logic goes out the window. It's all about feelings. Nothing matters. Yeah, but it's just psychobabble. Like, I can tell. Oh my God, y'all really talking about basically what they were operating like, it's gynocracy time. It's time to talk about what we feel. None of this shit you matter. None of this shit matters. Only thing that matters is what we say. You know. And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to go watch it, and I'm gonna replay some of it. In fact, I might boot up a stream right now and do that just to get shits and giggles, to get some people on there, just to replay it, because that's what it was. And they again, they only give a fuck about what black men think as a means to an end in order to get what they want. They don't believe black men are human beings, and you've never. It sounds crazy. It sounds ridiculous until you really start looking into it. And until you really start asking the questions and looking for the patterns. And then you really start saying, black men are inanimate objects to them. This is why when they talk about what white women do or non-black women do, I'm like, you all do the same thing. You all do the same thing. Well, we raise you. We do this. You do that because if it's, shout out Mr. Fantastic again for doing the lottery ticket. You do that only because you expect an output, an outcome. You don't do that because they're your children and you love them. You do that because you expect something from them. And when I say from them, I'm talking about like you only feed a slave as necessary that you need to for that slave to do work. That's the mindset. And people would think I'm being harsh because you got to remember, when people first hear that shit, I mean really hear it for the first time, you got to remember, guys, these are things. Yeah, what's up, Vern? I'm about to start in a second. These are things that these people have never considered. They have never ever considered some of the things that get said on here. So that's another thing we have to do in the manosphere is we have to start creating content or maybe articulating content in a way that's for people that would have never seen it. Because even what you find is a lot of these dudes, they get real emotional about what's being said because quite frankly, you're blowing up their reality. You're blowing up their worldview, and a lot of these dudes can't psychologically handle it. A lot of these dudes can't, and now what you're finding is the world is starting to show you what we've been saying for a while now, and it's because that's what it's been. It's getting harder and harder to deny. It's getting much harder to deny than it used to be. And so now, most of the time when you hear, I mean, I was just talking. This is like the most like real hardcore red pill I probably got like offline, and I didn't. I was just asking simple questions. Like the way I got most of them is I said, look, all y'all got to do is show me any other interview. I can show you a video of Kobe's, the person that quote unquote accused Kobe not too long ago rapping about what happened as if it was funny. So clearly it's not an issue because it didn't happen. And this is the world you live in, where a white female can basically make some shit up and then think it's funny later on that she lied And then you got motherfuckers on the mainstream media caping for this shit. Like my thing is, if y'all really think Kobe did some shit, then why not do the same track record that y'all did with Bill Cosby and go get that, bring that bitch out? You know why? Because if you go interview her, then you have now exposed yourself to a slander lawsuit. You have now pretty much all but basically blown like 200 to 300 million dollars. Because if you look at, here's the thing, what you got to understand. What Vanessa Bryant could sue CBS for is you slandering him can hurt that estate's future income. You're basically slandering Kobe Inc.'s brand because Kobe Inc. is an actual company that is worth $2 billion, and you're slandering his brand. And because that's a corporation, that corporation's immortal. So you can't just say, well, this is what he would make in X amount of years. You're you're permanently damaging his brand by doing this. So you open yourself to exposure that quite frankly could end your corporation doing that shit. So if they were to interview that white bitch, that is the that accused, number one, she wouldn't want to talk because once you open that door, now you're opening the door for other people to interview her. But the other thing is, if she lies, now that makes y'all look absolutely racist. You're in a box. You're in a fucking box if you do that. So but see, if you're so sure, then why don't you? Why didn't Gail? Here's my thing. Why didn't Gail? I wouldn't agree with none of this. By the way, all of this would have been fucked up. But why didn't Gail interview that white woman? Because you know how these people sound when you bring them up. You know they're making shit up. Like one of the books I read when I was in school was To Kill a Mockingbird. And To Kill a Mockingbird is textbook this shit. White, something happens, racist, an event happens, the racist society, which is in America, in the South, wants to, and the white woman gets used as a metric. The only difference is now they're adding black women as another layer. Because now, it is. Of course, Al Sharpton. I didn't know that. I saw Your World put something up on that. Of course, Al Sharpton was defending Gail. You got to remember, these dudes are defending who pays them. That is the network that pays them. That is the apparatus they get paid. So they're not really defending Gail. They're defending the gyno. It's kind of like saying, am I defending the queen or am I defending the crown? They're defending the crown. They're defending the gynocratic apparatus. That's what they're defending. They're defending the occupying force. Gail is a part of that. That occupy that apparatus that basically allows white supremacy to operate, particularly against black men. But you got to really think about it. These are the same white women that took. I can't stand on the chick that created Me Too, but they took that shit and used that for their own ends. And even that woman was cool with using it. With she promoted using it against black men. She just wanted credit. But see, these are the things that these dudes don't want to acknowledge. They want to pretend that shit doesn't exist. They want to pretend that's a figment of your imagination. They want to pretend, well, it's just the government. They don't want to, but they don't want to admit how the government is going about doing its business because that's an inconvenient truth. And so the shit, like, hold on.
Alan?
Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. So I mean, that's what it is. And I mean, people say, "Why are you saying the same thing over?" I'm saying the same thing over and over because clearly people don't get it. But this is what's happening. They keep on interpreting stuff in the way, and it's like you can't move forward. This is like you can't do this. You can't pass go unless you do this. You can't pass go unless you do this. And too many people they want to frame it as a different situation. And when you and we're not really like because I don't really talk about this stuff that like the fuck you it's oh man it's amazing these people when you really talk to people about some of this stuff and I'm not even talking about the going deep as I'm going with y'all but I mean like I just ask you questions because that's how you do it the way if you want to bring stuff like this up the way you bring it up without people losing their mind um is is you ask questions. You let them answer, and then you ask follow-up questions. Why do you think that? And then you get intelligence. You don't sit there. Number one, never try to change somebody's opinion. Because first of all, it doesn't matter. What they're gonna think is what they're gonna think, and that's irrelevant. What you do is you just ask questions to gather. It's not gather intelligence. See what people think. Kind of like taking a survey, and then you ask them. And if they give you an opinion, you ask them a follow-up question. Like for instance, um, I'm gonna pull this up. Y'all gonna see. I'm bringing my computer up right now, and we're gonna bring this up. Let's see what y'all talking about. No, I didn't see Quinn and Slim. I didn't need to see that Captain Cisco. Of course, Al Sharp, like I said, of course he was defending Gail. I've already spoke on Susan Rice. I mean, at the end of the day, Susan Rice didn't let me know she was black until she wanted to defend Gail. So again, that's further confirmation of this elitist apparatus that I'm talking about. This sister, this 92 dark side 92 cult that I'm telling you about. All this. You look at all the stuff that happened. Like even between the 3 years that Trump has been in office with black people, and she ain't had nothing to say. Now all of a sudden, when it comes to Gail, because a celebrity say something, she got all the smoke. Now she got all the smoke, and then when you look at okay, who she's married to, who he's married to, who's got more black credibility. But see, then again, that doesn't matter because ain't nobody. Because you notice, like all the people that I noticed that were sitting here trying to say Snoop was wrong. They're not looking at that. They're not checking that. They're not checking. Oh, this is who Gail is. They're just this is who Susan Rice is. So this is why I keep saying it doesn't matter. They're gonna put you in a box because that's what they do. It really doesn't matter. Like there is no. You don't get credibility. You're a black man at the end of the day. Know your place, regardless if you're married to somebody or not. And that's what they won't tell you. They don't consider that. That's never considered because that's they only check that when they're trying to shut something down. No, he didn't. I mean, Stu, like, are you serious? But then again, you got to realize they're looking at that like you're in this level, so you're not allowed to say that because she's off limits. But what she did, like, again, Snoop wouldn't have said nothing had Kobe not been close to him. I'm not even gonna act like Snoop just had to say something. That would have been anybody else. Snoop probably would have let that shit go. So let's not act like, Snoop Dogg is like, I'm defending him because I'm defending the situation. And he's a good example of how bullshit a lot of that is. Oh, man, yes. I forgot that Alter Carbon's coming out soon. Talk about that. Give me 1 second because I'm pulling my stuff up. Wow, Scud mission. Yeah, it was. It was a long time ago, man. Hold on one second.
And real quick, what you got, bro?
Nah, man,
Before we
you
close
ended
down, you
it.
got something?
Nah,
And
absolutely. I'm just letting him know I'm about to do a
yes,
stream.
no, maybe so.
Hold
Okay.
on. Sorry about that.
But
Yeah, I'm about to do a stream, breaking down some of the stuff that was said on that last video you did with the the dark skin delegation. So I just want to let them know about that.
okay.
That's all. But great,
Cool,
great
cool. All right.
stream, man.
Appreciate you, man. So hey, y'all go pull up on brother Edward. I'm about to shut this thing down, man. I appreciate all your.
Yeah, I went up. Yeah, I went up there to do my plug. All right, y'all. I'm ending this right now, so I'm pulling my other one up. So look for my other stream. All right, this is Edward signing off. Peace.